Miss Lisa Franks and Miss Debra Fawcett. Both of them work at the old Lavaca jail in Halletsville, Texas. And Lisa, we'll start off with you. Tell us about you.
Thanks, Kyle. We've known each other for a while. We've had our ups and downs, and it is actually great to see you again. I've really, truly missed you, and I'm really hoping that you and Michelle can make it out to the jail sometime really soon. I'm going to have a great time. Anyway, yes, please, soon. Anyway, my name is Lisa. I'm a mom and a wife. I live in Cypress, Texas. I've been a paranormal investigator for quite a while now. Was with the team for a while, and then met the wonderful Miss Debra Fawcett, and she asked me to be a part of the journey with her on being a caretaker at the jail, renovation, demo, kind of stuff like that. So been doing that for 3 years now, and it has been an amazing journey. Met some great people. I think that's been my favorite part of it all, is just the people I've met have been just amazing. The experiences have been great. Debra is freaking amazing. We have some great times together. If you follow our page, you'll see our adventures. But it's that's kind of a little bit about me and what we've been doing a lot at the jail, and doing some renovations and demo here and there, and it's been a journey, to say the least.
And how about you, Miss Debra?
Well, I've been there for a little longer than Lisa. I started helping the gentleman who owns the jail, Roger Chambers, do the cleanup and start restoring the jail. I love historic preservation and restoration stuff. And we just, I've been a paranormal investigator for many, many years. I'm really, really old, so I've been doing this a long time. But to meet him and to see the jail and to have this opportunity to help him with that project, and knowing straight away from the first night that I was there that it was really haunted, it was like a dream come true for me. So I quit my job as manager of a medical practice and started working on the jail pretty much right after that. So we worked on cleaning it up and all the hazards that go with that. And Lisa got to miss all of the fun part of that. And I think you made it back to the floors. But yeah, we've been working on it a long time. We about a year after I started doing the restoration work, and we had electricity and plumbing and restrooms, and it wasn't nasty. You didn't have to wear a mask to come in there. We decided to open it up to professional private paranormal investigators for overnight visits, sometimes weekends. Primarily, Roger's objective was to restore the old jail and make it available to the community again to promote history awareness, because it's really a cool place. But he buys a lot of historic buildings, primarily for unique filming locations. So we've had a lot of independent films and things like that done there, but most of our time is spent with our investigator friends who come to love that place, and it kind of sucks you in, doesn't it, Lisa?
Yeah, it does, a whole lot.
How many times has it been on television?
Well, we've done news stories. We've done the Russell Rush on a tour. I really am not excited about network TV. We did film actually a network TV show there. I won't say the network, but it was one we all watched. And
it was a nightmare. It was.
But we ate good. It was a nightmare. And they filmed for like a week in July last year, wasn't it? July?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, the star of their show, and it was a new show, got into some legal difficulties, is what I hear. And no one will ever see it, and thank God for that, because, you know, I told Lisa, I pray this. I knew they had shot like 6 episodes, you know, and and I'm thinking, well, hopefully we'll be the last, and it'll be canceled before they ever get to us. But
Canceled before it even hit the airs.
praise
Thank
Jesus,
God.
praise God.
That bad.
I learned in that week I am not a good actress at all.
You know, and I tried to explain to her
Yeah, she did.
that you know, they're going to come, they're going to have some scripted stuff, they're going to shoot a lot of B-roll. They pretty much already know what they're going to do while they're here. We'll be lucky if they actually investigate, put any real footage in there. And that's pretty much the way a lot of these are. And it's just, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were in this for fame and fortune and, you know, we wanted to be on TV, you know, it would be one thing, but I'm telling you, we have turned down a lot of network contracts.
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have.
Because I just, we've had wonderful promotions though, from all of our groups that have been there. I mean, there are hundreds of videos on YouTube.
Yeah, there
And
are.
sad to say, a lot of them I haven't even seen because you know, I just don't have the time, but I mean, they've gotten some amazing stuff there. And I prefer that much more than network TV that's made up, because you know the jail is a place where you don't have to fabricate anything. If you're an investigator and you want to spend some time there, I promise you, you're going to walk away with a lot of evidence. You don't have to come in there and, you know, create chaos.
Fake thing, yeah. So
yeah, it's just not been a pleasant experience for us so far, and you know.
Well, my thing is, I love history. So, I
too.
mean, I know there's probably a lot and probably too much to tell at one time, but can you kind of give a brief history of the place?
It was built in 1885. And originally on that property was an old house that belonged to Marshall Merritt, D.W. Merritt. And he donated the property for the jail to be built, and it was built connected to that house. So the jail opened in 1886, actually. And it closed in 2005, making it the second oldest continuously operating jail in Texas. It took me a long time to be able to say that, but being a docent there, now I got down. But it,
but
I
like
think
back,
a lot, huh?
well, just back in the day, up until the 1960s, families of the sheriff lived in the jail on that house that was attached to the back of the jail. So the families actually lived there in the jail as well.
Lots of families grew up there.
No kidding.
Yeah. So you'll hear babies crying, kids, and people are thinking, why are we getting this? And it's like, well, there used to be families that lived here. I believe up until 1969, Sheriff Dodds.
1969, when Sheriff Dodds and his deputy were killed, and Lisa and I are fortunate enough to be friends with his daughter, who's helped us so much. And we think of her every time we pull in there because her name is carved into the concrete there from when she was a little girl. But she has told us so many stories and gave us photographs of when she lived there. She gave us...
She lived there, so it gave us a better idea of how to, decorate things, because it is a museum as well. So
I remember telling her, I've hung a picture of your father in the sheriff's office probably 5 times, and every time it gets knocked off the wall, it just won't stay no matter what we do. And she goes, well, this was never my dad's office. I just took it for granted. It was always the sheriff's office. And she said, no, my dad had a table in the hallway, and his office was in the basement of the courthouse, a block over. So then it made sense that, yeah, he didn't want to, but in twice the jail was flooded with 8 feet of water, 1940, 1981. The flood in 1981 took that house completely away. And the chimneys to it are still in the ditch out back behind the jail. But it was replaced.
Actually see where the house was ripped away. There's like a mark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that you can see where it was ripped away.
But it was replaced with a tin building that is also connected to the jail, just like the house was. And at that point, they needed just administrative room more than they needed living quarters. No one was living there then. And it had their kitchen and the laundry room. They cooked you know, meals for all the prisoners and sheriff's offices back there. And in 1976, they added new cells to the downstairs and a lot of administrative room out front. And Lisa's husband, Chris Franks, does he rock, was our project manager for, our goal was always from the beginning to remove all of that and restore the original facade of the jail the way that it looked in 1885. Her husband made that happen in 6 days with one piece of equipment. And one other guy, and me and Lisa. We tore it down without mishap.
That was an emotional week.
It was emotional because we've looked at these photographs of the old jail for years since we've been there, and we'd never seen it, you know, until we never been able to look out the front windows. Until
and it was a very scary process as each of those walls slowly came down because we had no idea what it was going to look underneath. And to see them so perfect and so beautiful,
gosh.
I mean, we were just crying in the middle of the street, holding each other like a bunch of donkeys.
We were.
So cool. I mean, it was
the owner of the jail even asked Lisa, well, why are you guys all emotional? He wasn't even there, by the way.
I know.
But he goes, yeah, you don't have the emotional attachment.
I lost
to
a
this building
finger in
we
that
do."
process.
Oh, I broke out in herpetic blisters, and you know, we went to crap that week because it was just,
How we did.
it was very stressful, but thank God Chris was the magnificent man that he is.
It
He had
couldn't
it
have
planned
been
down to it. It was perfect. Couldn't have been more perfect.
and it's still ongoing because now we've got more
Yeah.
things that need to be done, and it's just a continuous process of just making this place look like it did, you know, back in the day. So it's been
And
fun.
after 5 years, it's probably going to be another 5 years.
But that's
before-
okay.
That's okay. We have nothing but time, and yeah.
And each
So-
other.
So I know you've been asked this a million times, but I got to know what has been like the craziest thing that's happened to y'all since you've been there.
Take it away, Lisa.
Besides Lisa,
So
what's the
many-
craziest thing that's happened there?
Besides my appearance 3 years ago, scariest, just by hands down, where I was looked at her and was like, I'm getting a hotel room tonight, was loss of time.
Mhm.
So you're not really thinking paranormal. This is like interdimensional weirdness where we've got documentation of where we were and what we were doing for these full 2 minutes, but there was stuff going on in the background that neither one of us.
We had 2 recorders going, and it was recording stuff that didn't happen to us, and we were
sitting right there because you got
right
our-
there.
So it's like, wait a minute, where were we? Because the background noise was like police sirens, like 10 police cars had pulled up into our
Pulling
drive
into the front of our building.
and it went on for a full 2 minutes, but you can still hear us sitting right there in the garage talking.
Not acknowledging it. And we know all the police officers in Halletsville. They're all friends of ours. They come visit. They love the jail. We hear a siren off in the distance, and we're like, hey, there goes Saul, or there goes, you know, whoever.
Ethan, somebody, yeah. And we never,
It was
it was so loud, you know, it was like
crazy.
they were right there. And it was on 2 recorders. It wasn't just, oh, maybe it was residual noise on 1. It was on 2. So I don't know where we were for those 2 minutes, but it was, that for me was very scary.
But I had told you of similar experiences that
Yes,
I've had there with loss of time long before we actually experienced that. But
until you experience it, that is, bring me back the beat.
it's the worst.
Bring me back the growling, you know.
Bring me back the booth. Yeah.
Was
Show me an
very,
apparition.
very unsettling. But we've been growled at. We've heard each other's voices when we're not even near each other.
I've shown up in photographs when I wasn't there. I mean,
lights turning on that have
Goodness.
never been on. Big
Never
dark
were.
shadows. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on there, but for me the scariest was the time loss. That was beyond paranormal. So
Because you can't figure it out. You can't blame it on a spirit made that happen, or this made that happen, or
She's like,
it goes
Lisa,
beyond what we're used to investigating.
Would you say there's like a doppelganger there if you're hearing each other's
A lot
voices?
of people have used that term, and I think so. I mean, I do a lot of ITC research, and ghost boxing is kind of my thing. And we have several. I've heard my voice come out of the box. I've heard my son's voice come out of the box when he was there investigating with me. He's like, "That's my voice." And I'm like, yeah, it is. But they do a lot of that imitation. We had a friend there one weekend, and she said, I was out in the garage yelling at you through the wall to this room next door where Lisa and I stay. It used to be an EMS office, a huge room. And we
and it was
stayed there
also
when we
when
had.
there were 23 public hangings, mind you. We thought we were safe.
It was a couple of years after I'd been there. I thought, well, thank God for this room. It gives me a quiet, safe sanctuary to stay in when groups are here for the night, because we don't go in and hang around you or anything like that. And then I found out that the gallows once stood there, and there were 23 public hangings, and it's like sweet. Yeah. But we've had a lot of stuff happening there too, so it's not like a safe zone. Like, we can't keep a clock on the wall. And Lisa was there by herself recently, and she's texting me, it's 3:15 and the clock fell off the wall and it doesn't work anymore. Well, she just kind of cast it to the side. When I got up there and looked at it, the hands are all twisted on it behind the glass. I mean, it's got a glass dome over it. I'm like, yeah.
And I gotta be there again this Friday without you. Dang it.
I know, and I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
Well,
you'll be all right.
For a lot of people out there, they don't know that Lisa and I used to be on the same team back in Houston, and we had some fun experiences on some investigations.
Yeah, we did.
My favorite was the Spring House.
I love that that was amazing. That was amazing evidence.
Okay, I'm gonna let you tell the story about Farmer.
Oh, you tell it.
No, you tell it. You tell it. You videoed the screen, so you tell the story.
So we were at this house, and it was for sale, so nobody was living in there. It was vacant, but we were able to have an overnight investigation at a client's house. During the night, Kyle was upstairs in one of the rooms, and you see this. And I mean, most people would probably look at it and think, oh, that's just a bug. But it had a very particular pattern, and then it disappeared into the wall. So we were all downstairs, and we're watching it on the DVR, and I'm recording it with my phone. And as I'm recording it, as we listen back, you hear a voice go, "That was me." Like a female voice whispering, because we're like, I'm videoing, the screen, and on my phone, you hear it go, "That was me." Like she was standing with us watching the screen, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that was me." I mean, clear as day. It was really, really cool. That was a cool investigation for sure.
I would love to go back to that house, because that was beyond cool.
With us, yeah, let's go back.
Now, there's one story I want to tell, because y'all got me good when I was upstairs, and the house was vacant, so I'm walking around barefoot because I hate wearing shoes. And I'm sitting up there, and I'm with my friend Rodney, and I told him, man, my feet feel like they're on fire. And then I come downstairs, and y'all are like, hey, did anything happen? I'm like, no, nothing really. I said, but my feet felt like they were burning. And every one of y'all was laughing.
Yes.
I'm like, what the heck is so funny? And they're like, oh, we told him to go up there and tickle your feet. I'm like, sorry, son of a guns, you.
Yeah, that was a really cool house. Nothing evil by any means in that house, but it was a cool, active night. And it was a good time. I think we all had a good time. So.
My digital recorder, I had it in the room where me and Rodney were sleeping. And when I went back to listen, it sounded like a woman was having sex on that thing.
I remembered that because we were like, that was you and Mitch, but He was like, no, I remember.
You have to tell him about our SLS character upstairs.
Oh boy, I gotta hear this one.
Well, we got some pervert spirits up in our jail, but you know, the old prisoners. The cells upstairs were actually built in 1876, and then they were brought over 1874. My apologies, and they were erected, and the jail was built around them. So they're like really, really old cells. And we had some repeat offenders over. Light Paranormal. It was Roger Johnson and his wife Leslie were upstairs. And she's in the cell, and this SLS stick figure is just doing his business.
Oh no! Oh
I mean,
no.
and there's no mistaking what's happening. I mean,
I'm like, what else can that be?
I mean, it was,
I'm like, I apologize for the perverted spirits you have in our jail. I really do.
but I think it like poked her butt or something that night too. They really for some, you know, they really like her. But yeah, we have some interesting spirits. And then that one night that Tim and Mike were here, and in the sheriff's office, Sheriff John's waving at us from the chair, and then he pans over to the sheriff's bedroom, and there's two stick figures having sex and like flipping positions, like full tilt. I mean, it's like
hilarious.
I'm right watching this, but oh my gosh, that's so funny. Full tilt going on. So
Ghost porn.
I don't know
Ghost
what's
porn going on at the old house.
Great.
Now, I believe Rodney's the one that told me that he was there one time and the cell doors opened. Like
that happens. J.P. Doyle did a series called Paranormal Isolation, just paranormal, and he did a show where he was at the jail 5 days all alone, and I think it was his fourth, or it was like a 5-part series. I think it was part 4. And he's sleeping upstairs, not in the cells, but on a cot in between the men's side, the women's side of cells. There's a big hallway. And he's got the recorder going, and you can see him laying there sleeping, and he's dead asleep. And you see this big cell door just swing open right by his head.
These doors are 500 pounds. You can't, like, they are heavy.
Oh yeah, in his video, he says, like, these doors must weigh 100 pounds. I'm like, no, they weigh like 400 pounds. But he didn't even realize that happened until he got home and started reviewing all this footage and everything. And he called me and goes, I'm going to send you something you're going to freak. I'm like, send it. I'm like, wow.
It opens like butter, and it's hard. I mean, for even Debra and I to push that door open, it does not.
Yeah, it takes a lot. I mean, we actually lube up our doors, and the mechanisms that control these locks are these big mechanisms that swing out that lock all the cells. And if you don't, because of the humidity and the fact that it's not climate controlled up there, so sometimes it's raining on the inside, we do, you know, spray like the equivalent of WD-40, but it keeps all that stuff moving. And but yeah, still, even being freed up, ain't nothing just swinging open with one hand, really, even if you're a big guy. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, I have recordings, I don't know how many, of walking away from the downstairs cells and hearing all this banging start as I'm walking away, and I'm not hearing it, but I know I'm close because I can hear my footsteps. And all this crazy banging is going on. Sometimes for a couple of hours, I would leave camera or recorders going back there while I was in there working, and finally get around to listening to it and going, oh my God, I hope I didn't sleep in there that night. Like
we did that night, and we heard the chair being drugged from one side of the jail to the side, and it stopped, and then it drugged back. And you could tell because it was from where the recorder was sitting, you could hear that chair being further away and then being drugged back. And then it starts raining, and it's midnight, and she looks at me and she's like, we got to go close those windows. I'm like, girl, I don't think so. You're going to close those windows. I'm not going back in there.
I'm like, yes, you are.
I did, but still, it was very unsettling.
Oh my gosh. So we've got people on here that are watching from Ireland, from Australia.
Wow.
Somebody just said Ohio.
Hey, my family.
Anyway, somebody asked what jail we were talking about. We're talking about the old Lavaca jail in Halletsville, Texas.
Haunted
And,
old jail.
yeah, hadn't it been on Ghost Adventures and a few other
No.
little shows? No,
No, but Zach is welcome to book a night and come stay.
Book a
anytime
night,
he wants
Zach.
to. We're not into doing the production stuff, really. I mean, I'm just.
Not after the last experience. It was that bad.
It was that
I mean, if there
bad.
was a great show that had great people that actually investigated, we would welcome them with open arms and give them the VIP treatment. But I'm just not seeing it right now. And there are tons of new shows cropping up, and I'm starting to enjoy more the reenactment, tell my stories kind of things, and the investigators.
Well, I'll tell you what, you need to get the guys from Ghost Hunters over there. Those guys are awesome.
They are awesome. I wish they'd come see us. That'd be great.
Well,
They were
I'll
one
talk
of
to
the few
them.
shows I actually really liked back in the day. And felt like they really approached things scientifically, tried to debunk things legit.
Yeah.
Have
Exactly.
you watched the show this season and all the new?
Yes, I have. I've
equipment?
seen a few episodes.
Man, I would love to see them take that photon camera in there and see what they capture. And
That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
man,
Yeah, I lust after their
Come
equipment.
look us up, Kyle.
I'll talk to them. I can't guarantee nothing because I know they got to go through the network
I
and all that stuff. But
Oh, I know.
that would be an awesome place for them to go.
Yes, it would.
So how big is it?
How big is it? We've lost a lot of square footage recently.
Yeah.
It's not a super large place. That's the reason they closed it down and built a new county jail. I think maximum capacity was allegedly like 17 prisoners. Oftentimes they had a lot more, but it has downstairs cells, it has upstairs cells, it has a sheriff's office. What used to be a visitation room when I got there was actually the original front parlor, and
The chapel room. It was a lot of different things.
it was a lot of things. We found a lot of interesting things in the ceilings up there when we tore out the drop ceilings, and
Yeah, we did.
Bible pages, and yeah, lots of hidden things in that old jail. We found old tear gas, grenade bombs, and other
You know,
things.
When Michelle and I went on our honeymoon, we went to the Ohio State Reformatory, and
nice.
Oh, I'd love to go there.
and I think that was
It's
the one
huge.
we went to that there was a bottom part that flooded and somebody was stuck down there and drowned.
Ooh.
But y'all said y'all had some flooding at y'all's place too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did
twice it was flooded with 8 feet of water. No one died, but I mean, a lot of people in town died. Their whole family swept away during that flood. It's pretty catastrophic. So it's been amazing that building is so structurally sound that we are able to restore it, and it didn't lose, any major parts of foundation because of the flooding or anything like that.
And Halletsville itself in general, I mean, even if you come to the jail, I mean, you could literally make like a whole weekend of it because the whole town is so historic and it has so much history and so many beautiful back roads and these little hidden cemeteries and chapels. And it's a very haunted and very historic town.
Magnificent courthouse on the square. It's got the old timey town square. Every year for Christmas, there are like 300,000 lights on this thing. I mean, it's just breathtaking. I've never seen anything quite like it. We generally don't book the jail. The Saturday night after Thanksgiving is the lighting of the courthouse and a parade, and everybody wants to park at the jail and hang out. And so we usually block it off on our calendar because if you come there to investigate, you're gonna be really upset that there's all this activity going on. But it's a fun time for us, and we have fun decorating the jail up. And
I like those little towns. Just something about them.
oh, so cool. It's an old German Czech community, Catholic community. So yeah, they're wild about me and Lisa there. But,
Yeah, they are.
I heard y'all do seances over there. I don't know what Lisa does on her off time. I just
They don't know if we're mother or daughter or lesbian lovers. I swear to God, we get the strangest looks.
Well, that's because you're crazy. And she walks around the town square in the middle of the night in her pajamas and Monster House shoes. And
Look, it's all about being comfortable, okay?
Right. So in and around there, where's like the best place to go investigate that's kind of not so famous?
in Halletsville, I think we're pretty much I mean, the other locations that are close to us is the now defunct Yoakum Hospital. Yorktown is 45 minutes away. Lavaca, a little over an hour. Goliad, San Antonio. I can't think of anything else, can you?
Yorktown was pretty fun. Lisa and I and the rest of the gang got to go to spend the night, and man, that was a wild time, wasn't it?
Yeah, ask her about her last wild time there. A week ago, 2 weeks
I've
ago.
never been back again, so
I think they lost Lisa.
yeah, I'm forbidden to go there again, and that's fine by me, because I've never felt such evil and terror, and I fled the building, and I've never done that before. So it actually wasn't a very good experience, and I was very sad that Debra wasn't there with me, because it was one of those, I need my money.
I'm glad I was not there with you.
It was very scary.
What freaked me out was every time we walked by that one spot where they had the dummy in the
in that hallway.
Oh my God! Every time it got me.
Yeah,
and I knew
it's there.
We
in one of our showers we have a thing hanging. It's like wearing the screen mask.
Yeah.
Big draped figure hanging in a shower because Lisa. And even though I know it's there, every time I walk around the corner and see that, it's just like, oh God.
It'll startle me every now and then too. So.
That picture that we got looked like children and a nurse down the hallway.
Yeah. I got that
freaky.
photo and that was at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that was just me walking through, and I remember walking out of the very back room down the long hallway to the right and hearing footsteps and shuffling of clothes, and took the photo and didn't even look at it. I mean, stupid me. I should have looked at it, because I mean, it could have been like, oh my God, you guys get in here, grab a recorder or something. But that was pretty amazing. That place doesn't.
That photo. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not going to swear that it's paranormal, but it's a weird coincidence. But there was that picture that all the guys took together, and you remember we had brand spanking new shirts.
Yeah. And
in one spot on my shirt, it was white. Like, it looked almost like a hand was reaching out. I'll have to show you that picture if I can find it. But right after that, I kept having stomach pains, and I mean, it was so severe that I ended up going to 3 different doctors. They did test after test after test, could not figure out what was wrong. And all they were doing was giving me pain pills all the time, and that would only work for so long. But Rodney, I don't know what it is about that guy, but I went to talk to him about it, and he said something to me, and the pain just went away. Never came back.
Huh.
Bring Rodney to the jail, will you?
Rodney helped hang our fan with Rip Crew.
Yeah, Rodney's actually been to the jail a couple times.
Oh yeah, he is the jack of all trades when it comes to fixing stuff. But he's also our demonologist, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We had a medium tell us that there was a child in a wheelchair that had attached to me, and that's what was causing the pain. And if I go talk to Rodney, that it was going to go away, and it did.
Yeah. Well, I remember you were reading a book in the nursery and getting a lot of like K2 hits when you were reading the book in the nursery. I do remember that.
Yes. Well, you remember there was that rocking chair, and I took the K2 meter and I set it on top of there. And mind you, there's no electricity in this place.
Oh, I know. There still isn't.
And we were in that room, and I said, you know, if you want to come play on this rocking horse, you're more than welcome. And right after I said that, that thing pegged out. And then there was those freaking dolls. You'd ask a question. We'd walk by this thing.
It was like, it was so funny.
We had walked by that place, I don't know how many times during the night. And then when everybody decided to go to bed, Michelle's like, hey, I'm not done yet. You want to go back? And I'm like, sure. And we go to that room, and then we started asking questions, and it's freaking dolls, and they're identical, and they started talking. And, you know, it was like mama and night night and I love you and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and they were talking. And one of the guys even took the thing apart to find out if it was maybe a motion sensor or something like that. Could not get that thing to go off unless we asked a question.
Yeah, we're like sticking a flashlight to its head, like, well, maybe it's like eyes or motion censored or something. We're like, I mean, trying to debunk it, but yeah, that was weird. That was some weird stuff going on that night.
Oh man, we could tell some tales, huh?
Yes, we go. Can we ever? We'll stick to the clean ones.
Barbecue night at the jailhouse.
I got some more shirts to burn.
If you also remember, I got that scratch on my head. Couldn't figure out where the hell it came from.
I do remember that too. That was a crazy night.
And so, have you had anything like that happen at the old Lavaca jail where somebody's gotten scratched or hurt or anything like that?
This past Thursday, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah, there was Thursday night, wasn't it? It was Robert Flores, and he's the guy that's doing our haunted house for us this year. Roger's always, the owner of the jail has always wanted us to do a haunted house for Halloween, and it's really expensive. You gotta have stuff. But anyway, a good friend of ours, Robbie Flores from San Antonio, who comes and investigates there a lot. That's his thing. So he's volunteering to do a haunted house for us this year.
And it's going to be crazy.
Oh my, I mean, like off the chain crazy. He built us an electric chair already. And I mean, just some of the props and things. This is one sick man, I'm going to tell you. But he's going to be there for a week, putting it all together, and we'll probably do Friday, Saturday night, open to the public haunted house, hopefully. If the COVID doesn't come back again.
So are y'all just going to do it for a couple of days, or are you going to have it like
No, we're just going to do it for 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night.
Okay, what night is Halloween?
Saturday.
It's a Saturday, so we're going to do Friday and Saturday, and have a drive-through trick-or-treat for the kids, whether they want to go in the haunted house or not. You know, we did that last year, I think, and maybe the year before.
Ghost hunt again this year too. She's always.
I might have to make my way up there for at least Friday night. I would do Saturday, but I'm officiating a wedding that day, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We've had some weddings and funerals at the jail, and
to have your vow renewal.
we have somebody else we can call, Lisa.
Because I had my vow renewal at the jail. It was so much fun. Wore a little sheriff's shirt and a belt, some boots, and Chris had the little prisoner costume on. It was awesome.
Wow,
It was cute.
If y'all have another wedding there and they're looking for an officiant, you know how to get a hold of them.
Sweet, man, that'd be great.
Awesome.
So what y'all have planned for the place coming up?
Sweating.
Sweating.
a lot of sweating. Well, now that we've got all the building torn apart, we all the front part torn off, we still have to resurface all that. I mean, we pulled stuff out. There's shit that has to be removed. We have to resurface, re-stucco, repaint, rebuild window frames, replace screens. We're left with a huge patio out front now where the building used to be that we tore down. So all of that will have to be resurfaced. We're usually a little slow as far as guests go during the summer because it is so hot. And
So
the
we are
entire
booked this
building-
weekend. We are booked this weekend though, and next weekend.
we're booked through June and some in July and booking in August. After that, we're full up already, I think, for weekend stuff. But we are available 7 days a week for filming, for overnights. It doesn't come up on our schedule. If you try to book online, just call one of us. We'll make it happen.
So you want to tell everybody how they can get a hold of y'all?
They can get a hold of us on Facebook at the Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail. Lisa's got everything else, all the Twitter and
Instagram.
and Grandma's
Yeah.
old and
The stuff that's not Facebook appropriate, I put on Instagram. So go follow that page. It's awesome.
oh my God. Yeah, there are certain
You
things
see
you
the
cannot
best
put
of
on our page.
on that page. It is like, yeah. But no, Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail on both our Facebook page and our Instagram page. There is a link in the bio. Just hit that and it'll take you to whether you want to book for a weekend, if you're booking filming, or if you're booking
Please come shoot an old Western film.
Music
something like
video.
that takes like 2 weeks because I'm on Social Security, you get money.
Oh, I'll ask around. Maybe we can get somebody to come out there and do some filming.
We're on the Austin Film Commission, San Antonio, the Texas Film Commission, all those sites. And we have done a number of films there. We've done music videos, heavy metal music video.
I was in a music video. I got to beat up this guy. It was so much fun.
Oh my God, that was so much fun. Oh my God.
Okay, you got to tell me who are the artists that were there.
Oh, we
Okay.
can't mention no. Well, I can't
Well, that
mention
one that you're talking about, they had some issues within their band and the film was kind of suspended. So yeah, we won't mention them, but they're great and we love them. A group called Masked, Masqued. You can look at their video on YouTube, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. It'll come to me in a second. Anyway, look up Masked and you'll see a video shot in the jail upstairs. Really cool. If you like heavy metal, and it's a good band.
Yeah, they are good.
Yes. Heavy
If
metal.
I had my phone on, I would look it up real quick, but
And y'all have a YouTube as well, right?
not really.
No.
If you
I have
just
a lot
type
of-
Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail, there are a bunch of videos.
Yeah,
Sure.
if you type in anything, Old Lavaca County Jail, Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail, you're gonna get thousands and thousands of videos, or just, I mean, amazing evidence people have gotten there. When I first started going there, and it's like, yeah, people get their hair pulled, or you get touched. It's like, man, this place is great. And it went downhill from there. I remember before it was open to the public, and I'm just up there working by myself, and invited a few friends over just to hang out for an evening. Wanted to have somebody else have experiences besides me. And for, it was like 4 people, and out of the 4, 3 people had touching experiences. And big shout out to my friend Chris Cheatham. He was there. He was just released from prison. He's anxious to come and see how the jail has changed since he went away
I know.
a few years ago. So I'm fixing to wrap him up and take him up there. And that's going to be his only contact with jail from here on out. Him and his girl Trisha, we're going to go. But I mean, to go from those little experiences like that people had to some of the like earth-shattering, mind-blowing, I don't even know how to describe it stuff. I mean, we've had so many things happen we don't even talk about because nobody would believe that crap, So, yeah, what were you on when that happened? I mean, truly, there are things that hearing your voice on tape say things you never said, and lapses of time, and we don't really discuss that with people, but it's always a big relief when somebody else says, man, you won't believe what happened to me here. I had this happen. Or like, thank God, it's not just me.
Well,
But yeah, it goes beyond the boo. If you want a great experience, it's a good place to come.
well, everybody that's watching or listening, Be sure to check out the haunted old Lavaca jail. If you can get there, get there. That's
there.
our plan. That we've been saying that for a long time. It's time to go ahead and do it.
Well, the invite is open. Y'all just let me know when y'all can make it.
Definitely will.
Lisa bakes cookies, just saying.
I know. I'm gonna have to make diet cookies then or something. I don't know.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free
All-
cookies.
The almonettes that you get at Walmart are pretty good. So.
We'll take that.
Copy the recipe. So cool.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for being on the show.
Po boy.